bought a house for my brother-in-law, a flat for my brother-in-law, and everything about it was wrong. We lost money. The tenant did a shit on the floor in the middle of the flat after we evicted him, and I had to clean it up, giving the story away. And I felt so bad that I allocated this capital to my brother-in-law because I was so cocky and thought I was such a big boy property developer because I flipped a couple of flats and sold them and made money. I did not understand the market, and that actually I wasn't doing anything. I was just riding a rising market in the sort of early to mid 2000s. And the phrase "safe as houses" is not a good phrase. It should be banned because it gives the wrong impression, particularly in a place like the UK, Australia, or America, where property is so prized as an investment and idolized. It's almost propaganda. How much people are desperate to get rental properties. But I think I'm moving definitely to just figuring out, when we get back to the UK, selling some of the rental properties, going into Bitcoin fully, paying some tax, and just taking a hit like you did, really, because I don't want to have to travel.
Well, this is the thing. So my encouragement to you, Myles, would be, and this is the same for absolutely anyone, is ask yourself the question, why do I own what I own? And you need to put together a statement of assets and be like, okay, this is everything I own. These are all my liabilities. Minus that off. Okay, there's my net wealth, whatever that figure might be.
Yeah.
Of the stack of shit that you own, why do you own it instead of owning Bitcoin?
Well,
and you have to have an extraordinarily good reason to own that stuff from a financial returns perspective and from a risk perspective. And it's absolutely okay to keep things for cash flow purposes, potentially.
Yeah.
If you still think that you're beating the rate of real inflation, then that's okay as well. But in my mind, like this is where real estate is quite effective, is leverage, because highly financialized market. So if you're able to get good debt terms and you can fix them for a long duration, then I think that's quite interesting, because then the return on capital employed is actually very good.
Yeah.
When you don't own the whole thing, someone's given you all the money to buy it, and then actually you're riding a market that's just only going one way, which is up. In that scenario, it works quite well. But I know, big question, mate. It's the opportunity cost. Even if you're in the money on those things, if you don't buy Bitcoin with the equity in those properties, it might take you a year to sell them because the liquidity on them is tricky.
Yeah.
There might not be a buyer, simple as that. But then equally, it's like, if you see Bitcoin for what it is, well, where might it be in 5 years' time? 5 years' time is 2030. And there are some outrageous predictions for price based on today's dollars. And, you're seeing, well, anyway, we don't need to go into the bullish case right now. I'm much more interested in like your actual choices. I think that's always so cool to think through. So anything resonate from that I
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard because I feel like in maybe 5 years ago, I was starting to get to a place where I was achieving some of my financial goals that I learned through the whole rich dad, poor dad philosophy that sort of pervades everything if you're into sort of your capital working for you, and understanding that you shouldn't really be charging for the hour and that you should be getting income from multiple sources. And so the problem is that I have this emotional attachment to the hard work and graft that I put in as a plumber to be able to purchase those properties. And it's like, right, I only just like coming traveling and selling the business is like the top of the mountain for me. And it's not like Silicon Valley exits at all. It's a small plumbing business, and they're little properties. It's not like big places that are making huge cash flows, but it does cover a normal person's living allowance every year. We could live on the income. We're not going to be really creating any wealth from that. It's just this kind of security blanket that I've been aiming for a long time, so I could not be a plumber anymore. So I wouldn't have to grind underneath people's toilets and kitchen sinks when I'm 65 years old. So it's that kind of mental connect. And I know what's going to happen. Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million for the bull case for Bitcoin in 5 years. And then I'll be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so rich. Why the hell didn't I sell these properties? But it's because I've got this insecurity around, I so badly don't want to be a plumber anymore. I really, really don't want that. I think there's a certain type of person that can handle the kind of confrontation that takes place with customers, with plumbing, with invoices not being paid, constantly chasing, managing geezers as well, like proper geezers working for you. It takes a certain type of person, but I'm not really that guy. I just got into it because I thought this seems like a good gig. I can be flexible, be with children, and can still make some decent money. And so I so don't want to go back to that I'm scared of selling the rental properties, forgoing the income for 4 or 5 years. I don't know. That's kind of my predicament, really.